Good morning. It's good to see all of you here this morning, worshiping on the first day of the week, on Sunday, here in church. We're grateful that you're here. It seems like every Sunday we're getting a little bit more and more people. And to those of you that are tuning in online who are thinking, well, should I come to church? We would love to have you here. Obviously, we take the necessary precautions to keep you safe while you're in here. But we do invite all of you, get back into the church building. God loves when we're all together and we're all worshiping together as a family in His house. I do want to take this opportunity also to thank those of you that are going to be downloading this message. If you're watching this message and you've downloaded it, if it means a lot to you, if you find this to be encouraging in your own life, we do encourage you as well to make sure that you share this message with all your family and all your friends. All we yearn to do is to be a voice of encouragement in this world. You know, we're beginning a brand new sermon series this week entitled Choose Daily 2. And we're going to give you 3 different messages about decisions that we all need to make daily. Faith without works is a dead faith. It requires all of us to not just simply sit in the pews, but to put action behind our faith. And every day we're going to encourage you to choose daily a specific task to make your faith actionable and make it part of who you are. And today I want to start out with the very first message, and that is to choose daily to listen to the voice of God. We worship a God who is speaking to all of us every day. I kind of think of it like God picks up the phone call, and the moment that you wake up in the morning, He's wanting to talk to your soul. He's wanting to tell you, parents, train your children in the ways of the Lord, and they will not go far off. He's wanting to tell you to tell your husband, love him the way I loved the church. Or to your wife, love her the way I loved the church. He's wanting to tell all of us, when you do it to the least person that you know, you are doing it to me. That God's voice says to all of us, come all of you who are simply just tired of everything that we are seeing and experiencing. And no one person can give you rest, but only I am the answer. I am the truth. Come to me who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. We worship a God who wants to speak to you and me every day. But we also have an enemy who's also making a phone call every morning to your soul. A voice that's telling each and every one of us how we should live our life. He doesn't come to us in that nice red cape and a little pitchfork. The devil comes to us every day with distractions. He figures if he can distract you enough, he'll keep you from listening to the voice of God. Let me just kind of share with you some of the distractions to see if some of these may apply to you. One of those distractions is busyness. Like he will make you so busy that day after day, week after week, you don't spend time praying. You don't spend time connecting to God or even reading about God. His goal is to make you so busy in your life that you don't spend time with the giver of life. And for many people today, we are overwhelmed with the busyness of not being able to simply spend time with God. Another distraction that the devil loves to do is he loves for you to listen to the wrong voices. Our world has a lot of voices. Our world will tell you to compromise on your morals, compromise on your values, to talk about this person, to lie about that other person. Those voices are constantly speaking to us. They're occupying space in our brain. But there's also voices that you have on the inside of you. Voices that tell you, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm not tall enough, I'm too short. Or negative voices that tell us, you know what, all that there is in this world or in my family is because of me. Pride. Another voice that we oftentimes hear that the devil will give us as a distraction is the wrong leaders. Every day we are following a leader. And I'm going to be very practical with all of you right now. This is where I see most of our world struggling with right now. That we are following the wrong things in our life. A distraction. For many people today, politics is their religion. They know more about people in politics than people in the Bible. Let me say it a different way. For those of you that are sports fans, You may know more about the statistics of different players that are playing on a Sunday and on a Saturday than you know about the life of the saints that we honor every day. And throughout the Bible, God is telling all of us, and listen to me, church family, He's telling us oftentimes that the devil will distract us. And He's telling us every single day, your soul is sleeping. Like, think of it this way. He's saying, wake up. Wake up, America. Wake up, my faithful. Wake up, because you are being distracted and you don't even know about it. Wake up. And the reality is, friends, is that we worship a God that is speaking to us. That God does not have a speaking problem to the country of America. God does not have a speaking problem to you and to me. But we do have a hearing problem of Him. And that if you're not choosing daily to listen to Him, then He's not in your life. It's interesting in the book of John, our patron saint, John says this extraordinary, quotes Jesus, how Jesus says this, uses this comparison of a shepherd to a sheep, and he's talking to his disciples. And if you get at home, read about this verse. It's in chapter 10, verses 2 through 8. And listen to what Jesus is telling His people about listening to His voice. The man who goes in through the gates is the shepherd of the sheep. He's talking about Christ. He's talking about Himself. This gatekeeper opens the gate for him. The sheep hear His voice, and He calls His own sheep by name. He knows our names. And He leads them out. And when He has brought them out, He goes ahead of them. In other words, He is the one to be leading all of us. And the sheep follow His voice, not other voices, because they only know His voice. Then they will never follow someone else's voice. Instead, they will run away from that person because they do not know that voice. But listen to the response of the disciples. Jesus tells them this parable, but the disciples still did not understand what He was saying. So then Jesus says this again. The Bible says again, He says this. I am telling you the truth. I am the gate for those sheep. And all others who come before me or after me are thieves and robbers who yearn to steal, kill, and destroy your life. Like He's telling us, listen, you can be distracted over here. Let your life be so focused over here. That's what the devil wants you to do. But Jesus is saying, wake up. I am that voice. You need to choose daily to listen to my voice. And so let me give you 3 tools I think that all of us can apply in our own life when it comes to listening to the right voices. And here's number 1. I think all of us need to hang up the phone on busyness and pick up the phone on stillness. The Bible says, be still and know that I'm God. You cannot know God, listen to me, church family, if you're not still. When was the last time we were just simply still? No phone, no television, not even the kids around us. We're simply just still. And the importance of God saying, I want to talk to you. And for many of us, God is calling you every day, but the line to your soul is busy. And so you have to make it a point every day. And ask yourself this, am I making a point every day to simply be still with God? I tell people, show me your calendar, and I'll show you your life. Like if you don't put God in your calendar, then He is not in your life. Every day to make time that you're spending time with Him in stillness. Not telling Him what you need from Him, in stillness. One of the things that we do in our neighborhood is that Roxanne will take turns. One time she'll go around the block in total stillness. No phone, no dog, just simply walking in the neighborhood. Just literally being in stillness. And I will tell you this on a personal level, that as a priest, that distractor would love to distract me. Because if he can get this priest off of what he needs to be doing, the sheep will scatter. I have to be in stillness with God. And if I have to, then so do you. You need to be still and know that He's God. Here's number 2. Is that you hang up the phone on noisiness and you listen to the voice of the Bible, of His voice. Again, the Bible says, your word, the Bible, is a light unto my path. It is a lamp to my feet. How many of you in your marriages right now, in the world that we are living right now, with your children, even this political climate that we're living in right now, are allowing someone else's light to lighten your path? And He's saying, no, my word is that light. My word is that path. And when was the last time that we may have just simply opened up our Bibles and said, God, I'm not reading this to get a quote to post on social media to tell people how great I am and how much the Bible I know. No, how much of the time am I going to simply read that Bible verse and say, God, what are you speaking to me today? I need to read His word. It is the only light we have on that path. And then here's number 3. And we're in stillness, and we're listening to His voice. And then number 3 is that we hang up listening to all the different masters in our life, and we follow the master in our life. What God yearns more than anything, church family, is, yes, He loves when we pray. Yes, He loves when we read our Bible. But He wants us to be obedient to Him. And let me say that again. He wants you to obey Him. Translated to today's language, if He would not post it, stop posting it. If He would not gossip about someone, stop gossiping about someone. If He would not live that way, you don't live that way. That is obedience to God. And the Bible says that God's heart is filled with gladness, not when you obey the other masters that you have put in your life, but the Master, Jesus Christ. We have a dog named Teddy Bear in our home. Teddy Bear has got an extraordinary language ability. He can understand facial expressions, but also words. And one word that he loves to know is the word walk. Like if we say the word walk, anywhere around Teddy Bear, he could be upstairs, the movies could be on television, the kids could be screaming, the oven could be on. But if Teddy Bear hears the word walk, he is so honed in to that voice of walk, because he wants to go for a walk, that he'll start doing circles in the middle of our kitchen over and over again. So now what do we have to do? We have to say, Roxanne, do you want to go for a W-A-L-K? Just so that he doesn't know. Because he knows, he's so honed into that. In the same way, church family, I want you to be honed into God's word. So that when He tells you walk that way, you walk that way. But if He tells you don't walk that way, don't walk that way. That you follow Him. I leave you with this. And I'm going to be a little bit open and honest with all of you. I share this with you because I love you all so much. And I'm trying my best to encourage you. Because the moment that you leave out this church, there are going to be a billion voices talking to you. And I'm just trying to save you and to cause you to live a life that God yearns for you to live. 1,600 years ago, the world was going through a very similar situation that we're going through right now. There were wars that were being waged. There were also divisions between not only political viewpoints, like there are today, but there's also division even within the faith. There was racism that was taking place. There was tremendous death 1,600 years ago. Do you know the average lifespan 1,600 years ago, listen to this, was 35 years old? Tremendous death that was taking place. This is for the average commoner. And at that time, the church knew that a change needed to take place. They saw that the people were following all these different voices of political division and racism and all these different voices about who they should love and who they should not like. And so the church interceded and said, we have to stop this. And so they created a date that every single year from that time till today would be a date that everyone would remember. A date to listen to God. Not for a day, but for 40 days. That date that they came up with is November 15th today. It is a day in which the church is telling all of you, make sure that you're listening to God. That the church is interceding and saying, we're not trusting you on your own because the distractor is distracting you. He's telling us, you have 40 days to listen to God. And my encouragement for all of you is, be still. Don't let the busyness of life keep you from the giver of life. That you would take time reading the Bible. Your word is a lamp unto my feet. It's a light to my path. And that you would be obedient to Him. Because listen, church family, God doesn't have a speaking problem. We do have a hearing problem. Wake up. Wake up. You are being distracted. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.